And welcome back to the Great Give Radiothon 2018. You're on WNHH Radio, 103.5 FM, live streamed at New Haven Independent, your home for community radio in New Haven. I mean, what a 36-hour journey we're on. The Community Foundation for Greater New Haven sponsors this every year. We're in the 9th year. 488 nonprofits asking you to pony up. You don't have to go up to all 488.
Not pony up, Paul. Contribute from the heart.
Contribute from the heart, because what we're trying to do is raise money all together as a community for great causes. And we do compete for who gets the most. Our next guest is a formidable competitor, always ranks near the top of the organizations. But we urge everyone to just check out who you want to give to. And here's how you do it. You go to thegreatgive.org. And don't forget thegreatgive.org. And you either type in the organization you want to give money to or just search around for the ones you like. And there'll be matching money. This is going on for 36 hours. You can give, for instance, to WNHH. It's a nonprofit, public interest. We don't suggest giving just to us. But if you'd like to support us and keep us on the air, going strong, please do. Here's another thing. I would suggest typing the following words in. New Haven Land Trust. One of the great organizations in New Haven that's actually been picking up its game in the last couple of years. But we're already doing good work. And that's what we're going to talk about in this segment, about why you should give money to the New Haven Land Trust. Justin Elicker, who runs the Land Trust, is here to tell us about the great work you do. Justin, it's always a pleasure having you on this.
It's always fun to be here.
And Justin, Paul, as always, is not alone. He's come with an instrument.
Oh, with his axe.
Oh, I thought you meant with you.
Oh,
yeah, Alan.
Yes, we're not alone. Don't forget Alan's here.
That's
so
right.
we ask everyone who comes on to either recite a poem or sing a song. Most people do poems. They're a little shy. But Justin comes right out and he gives us a song. And you brought us a song today.
Yeah, it's always a risk. Because not only is it a song, but it's a song that none of us know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're going to make up a song together.
Because, you know, there's
you think we can do it?
Well, you know, there's someone who works in city government who loved a few years ago when Justin wrote a song about the time I cut my finger on the kale. And for months, every time I would go into the city government office, I'd ask how the kale is and how my finger is, and then the person would start singing, I cut my finger on the kale.
Catchy tune, huh?
Fans, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, where did that song did not emerge from your last appearance here on the Great Give, did it?
Two appearances
ago. You had the...
I had a book of poetry here.
Yeah, and you pulled out some kind of odd phrase from it, and we worked with that.
Is that
I'm not sure if it was as catchy as the kale tune.
No, I don't think so. I think it was probably softer than some sharp kale. But, you know, Justin, I have a vivid memory of going to one of the New Haven Land Trust, one of the wonderful events that you have. I think it was on Davenport Street at the Garden on
Davenport Avenue. Yeah.
Davenport Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
See, here's my editor, Davenport Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
But last night's it's Lexington Avenue, right? Not Lexington Street. Even though in New Haven, all these avenues, you know, if those of us who've lived in New York, they don't earn the name, the avenue. But anyway, on Davenport Avenue, you had midsummer a kind of celebration of your interns, and they gave us kale chips, and they were delicious.
There's a song right there.
Well, what song you got first?
Yeah. So how are we going to?
Are we diving right in, or are we going to do some
we
sort
do
of
the song first
interview, or we want to get the song over with and then get to the meat of the interview?
Or we could talk to you in the midst if you'd like, but
we could. I could do some background music.
If you're stuck or you want to pause, just give us a signal.
The only thing is we need to come up with some topic, right?
Oh, so you really are doing it spontaneously?
I'm not a big preparer.
Oh. Well, I don't have the poetry.
At least for this. For other things. Oh wow, I've got 2 microphones here.
The only
real thing now.
The only notion I have in front of me is this doesn't seem to be right. A book here called "Swords in the Hands of Children."
No, that was the last show at 11 o'clock. It's about the weather underground.
Kale in the hands of children.
Justin, what's on your mind?
I prefer that you give me some topic that you feel is inspiring to the folks at home.
Recycling.
Recycling. All right. Good luck. Good luck with that.
Toters. Like our toter, after many years, they get roughly thrown around a little bit, not by us, and the lid came off.
Uh-oh.
We've asked Public Works for new toter. It's a
That'll
little
take-
slow coming, but that's okay. It'll take a while. Yeah. But they got a lot to do. Some things a little more important. But the toters matter.
The lid came off my toter. That has potential.
Toter, I gotta tell you.
I left my toter.
One day I'm worried I'm going to come out and the lid's going to be gone.
And who stole my lid?
Where's my toter?
You've given me a lot to work with here, but I think I still might need some help. Let's see,
And we're
let's see
still
what happens.
composting, so don't worry about grapefruit peels or kale shards getting wet. But, there's still, and, the papers. Well, actually, it is the one with the papers, the big one.
And it was a special toter.
It is.
Not just any toter.
It's lasted. It's gone the distance. It's been with us many years, made a move. It was everything.
What rhymes with recycle?
Easy. Recycle. Michael.
Oh, let's think what else.
Michael, recycle my toter ashore.
On my tricycle.
Trying here, Justin. Trying here.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, give me a minute.
I want to throw it out. Throw out all those things in the world. I want to throw it out. Throw it out now, trying to get me, my life clean. Get out all the mean. Want to throw it out. But then my friend Michael, he said, don't do that. And then my friend Michael, he said, you might want to reconsider that. 'Cause it's time to recycle. It's time to recycle, says my friend Michael. If you want to get rid of your tricycle, if you want to get rid of your tricycle, you've got to recycle, says my friend Michael. But I want to throw it out. I've got that urge deep inside my body. I've got my habits. Oh, come on, baby, can't you see that I want to throw it out? Want to get rid of all my things. And then they tell me to sing. Come on, you gotta recycle, says my friend Michael. In the winter there are icicles. Don't need to recycle. Just wait for them to melt. There are dark times today. There are dark times today. You know exactly what I am saying. Don't mean to get a little too political. Come on, let's recycle. Come on, let's recycle. Can we do like a whistling interlude? Throw it out. Come on, baby, hear my pain, but I gotta think about it and thinking about it again because it's time to do the right thing. It is time to do the right thing. Come on, baby, here we go, and I'm gonna recycle, says my good friend Michael. Don't want to throw it out.
All right.
All right.
There it is. There it is.
Wow.
Justin, I was trying to think of what else we could rhyme with recycle
yeah.
and Michael. I couldn't come up with anything.
I know. That's you put me in a predicament there.
I think you've made as always you've made a lot out of a little.
As always, huh?
Well,
Which
it's
is sort
what
of what Justin does running the New Haven Land Trust.
That's right.
Where in fact, if you recycle and compost, they could probably use your compost, right?
Yeah. We do some composting in our gardens, and actually, we just got a grant to work with Domingo Medina, who does a lot of
He's the bike
composting.
guy,
He's
right?
the bike
he rides his
composter.
bike around and takes the compost from your house.
Yeah, so
he bikes to New Haven Farms.
This is so the plan is that he's going to help us in one of our community gardens, working with our growing entrepreneurs, New Haven teenagers, to build a composting system.
Will this be the Perkins Street?
We have not identified the garden yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you already brought up a lot there, Justin, because what we're talking about is why we really want people this hour to go to thegreatgive.org and give a donation to the New Haven Land Trust, which has been around a long time, which and you've added a lot more to what it does, but it runs a lot of community gardens, like dozens of them, right, throughout the whole city.
Dozens. It's 55 or something like that now.
Whoa!
I know.
I
It
mean- I mean,
depends
in
on the day when you ask me.
Louisville alone-
They're like multiplying.
New Hallville alone, you must have about 6 or more, right?
Yep, exactly.
And you also you keep land as open space.
Mhm.
You own it as a nonprofit, and then you do good things with it, like the community gardens. And you have this young entrepreneurs program. Have you read about that, Alan? You read
You
so
know,
much about that.
I don't know about that one as much as I know about the
Because we wrote
the
some about it last
interns.
summer. Yeah, the entrepreneurs. You get high school kids developing businesses from working on the farms. How does that work, Justin?
Food-related businesses. Yeah, we have 12 now. We just had a new group of 6 more high school students join us. And one of our staff members, Esther, works with them generally twice a week and then full-time over the summer. They learn how to farm, and they also learn how to sell the food that they produce at the farmers market. They've met with a number of restaurants. They met with Jason at Casey's, Brian at Christopher Martin's, Union League, and they're selling their produce to those local restaurants. So please support those local restaurants because the growing entrepreneurs are being supported by them.
And this is produce grown on New Haven Land Trust gardens?
Exactly.
Whoa.
Grand Cards, they exploded starting in the 1990s in New Haven. They become something so hundreds or thousands of people really involved in every spring. You just did this. You take people around to look at them. You have a day of everyone volunteers at the different gardens to clean them for the season. You know, get them ready for another
Right,
growing
and there's
season.
a wonderful summer
Bike
bus
ride.
trip usually.
And a bike ride in the spring.
And
right?
a bike ride.
And you started all that, didn't you?
No. I didn't start all
Not the
all of
community
what
gardens.
happened at the Land
I mean,
Trust.
no,
My
I'm
goodness.
talking about the bike
There's
ride
some
and
history there.
No, I mean the bike ride and the tours.
So in recent years, we've started the Growing Entrepreneurs Youth Program.
That's your mark is on that particular one, I think.
I'm not going to claim my mark, but it happened with a group of people
Okay.
that all contributed to make it happen.
So in addition to the
I'm not
community
the kind of guy
gardens-
who's going to take credit for that, Alan.
Is there other work you do with open space besides the 55 community gardens, which is a lot? Is that it, or is there more you do too?
We own 80 acres in the city outside of the community gardens that are
Wow.
nature preserves. But
Wow. Oh, yeah, like Quinnipiac, right?
Yep.
That's right near where Alan lives.
Yeah.
Well, the wonderful what we
George?
call the Far George Preserve, but the Land Trust also it takes care of the fabulous Long Wharf Preserve, which is one of
Oh,
the
really?
one
You
of the
take care
hidden
of that?
it's one of the hidden treasures right to the right of it's between the big V, the War Memorial and Sound School.
And that's transformed, hasn't it, Justin? Do you remember 15 years ago or so, 20, when that was a magnet for a lot of crime, and the Parks Department was doing some mean homophobic stuff as well as people met there? It seems like a much more open place now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We've put in educational signs, and it's much more active. And particularly in the summer, we joined up with Schooner and now run the Schooner summer program, summer camp.
Oh, you do
And
that
so
too?
there-
Yeah, that's right.
There
That's
are
new.
hundreds of kids on the nature
So you
preserve.
kept that going, the Schooner
Yeah.
Camp, which I remember when my kids were little.
Yeah,
That
and
was
we're
fun too.
expanding it this year.
What are you doing?
So last year we had about 174 kids on site, and this year we're going to have about 80 kids a week
Wow.
on the preserve and sailing. We've added an intermediate sailing course. We have
Do you
a
sail?
4 to 5 year old age group that we're adding to the camp too. I do not know a thing about sailing, but we
Me
have
either.
we
I
have
don't like being on boats.
fear not, folks at home. There are people that will know things about sailing this summer,
Okay.
taking care
I
of
love
your
it.
children.
Well, you know, Paul, here on The Great Give, we're talking with Justin of the New Haven Land Trust. And so tell us, Justin, is there one way that's preferred to give to a nonprofit, to go to The Great Give and then put in the New Haven Land Trust? Or do you have a direct website that people can go to make any difference?
Yeah, we prefer today that people give on the Great Give.
On The
site.
Great Give.
And I
It-
think you were in the top 5 this morning, right? Are you
Oh,
keeping
really?
track of that, yeah.
I
And they-
prefer at this point not to look at that. It
But-
stresses me out.
But do you have additional stress, because if memory serves, you won the laurels last year. The New Haven Land
we
Trust.
did great. Yeah.
But you had the most
most
individual,
unique donors. Yeah.
most unique donors, which is
And frankly, for the folks out there, every donor is unique.
there. You go.
So, and you do Justin does a great job too, writing personal notes to people. He knows how to do the deal.
I
I
know.
might have written Paul and his wife this morning a personal
That's right.
note.
I
might have.
appreciated that. Thank you. And we noticed it really was personal because he added something about the radio. But Justin, why is it important that in New Haven we have an organization that, in addition to 55 community gardens, which is so fabulous, we don't have to talk about why that's important. Why does it matter that there are 80 acres that are being preserved and not turned into buildings or trash dumps or whatever? Why does that matter? Why should we support that?
Well, so I think that the land trust true value is not necessarily the land that we preserve, but the fact that we are working very hard to get people on the land, learning about the outdoors, experiencing the outdoors, meeting each other. I open the paper every morning and frankly get a little down at the news, particularly on environmental issues at the national level. And I think that one of the best ways that we can have an impact is locally.
God, you're not bringing up the EPA, are you?
I did.
That is freaking depressing.
It's ridiculous.
That's like some kind of evil kids book.
Did I miss a grievous headline this morning?
No, it's every day.
Well, but you know the wonderful book by Voltaire, Candide, where it's a book for our time, but you know it's about how it's full of the hero escaping from the Spanish Inquisition, and everywhere he goes he gets further dismembered. And the only conclusion that Voltaire draws at the end of this book is you must cultivate your garden.
Wow. But, you know, I think this is such an interesting point Justin's bringing up. I'm not sure about the dismemberment, except that it's the best of all possible.
Well, in a world full of bad news, you can cultivate your garden. I think that's my
I think you gave me hope.
In a world full of bad news at the national level, in fact, you can find hope in good news where it matters most, where you can make the most difference, which is at the local level. So, Justin, as someone who cares deeply about environmental issues, do you feel that this is a way we can find hope amid the rollbacks in environment protection regulation and efforts to combat climate change? Do you feel that New Haven Land Trust is a way for New Haven, is a vehicle for New Haven to not just feel bad about what's happening in Washington, but to make a good difference?
I actually think it has more of a direct relationship than folks may think, because particularly at the Land Trust, we have changed our focus to working with young people. If you go
That's a theme this year with a lot of groups.
Yeah. And it's clear that if we want to move the dial on any of these issues politically in the future, that we have to make sure that young people have the opportunities and to learn more about the outdoors, learn more about the importance of addressing climate change and stewarding our environment. And so we're trying to create the environmental leaders of the future that will choose careers that are on that environmental path, that choose to vote in a way that is responsible environmentally. And that can have a real difference on the politics.
So if
and the
they work
choices in the nation.
if they're growing food, selling it, if they're keeping an open space and recycling, you feel that means that as adults they're going to make choices and participate in public life in a way
that is our hope. And we also have been really interested in trying to combine an interest in creating that environmental ethic with a lot of the need in New Haven. And if you talk with many people in New Haven, there's need around job training, for example. And that's what we're trying to do with our Growing Entrepreneurs program, where the participants are not only learning about farming and environment, but they're also learning job skills that they can use in any job in the future: customer service, how to write a professional email, how to use a spreadsheet.
How many people do you have working with you doing these kind of programs? Well, how big's your staff for those?
We have 5 full-time folks, and then during the summer we have about 12 summer educators.
So you raise a lot of money. So there's a reason you care so much about raising this money today.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that staff time is critical to doing a lot of this work.
But that's a serious growth in this organization. I remember covering stories when we had part-time, half-time director, and that was pretty much the whole ballgame, including yourself. So, you know, we're not supposed to say this on the air, Paul, because you rightly always point out that the organizations are not competing with each other or here in the forum.
They are in a fun way. They want to win and get the most, but we want everyone to get money.
We're showing the range of incredible organizations and charismatic leaders of organizations like Justin. However, I would like to say, maybe I'm all wrong on this, but in this vast array of nonprofits in New Haven, and we have a lot of nonprofits in New Haven and the greater New Haven area, there are some anchoring, seems to me there's some anchoring institutions or anchoring pursuits. Not to say that one is better than the other, but I think of the New Haven Land Trust as
better than.
Well, no, but but think about this. It literally is the ground we walk on, right? It's the ground we walk on. In the same way that an organization like the New Haven Preservation Trust, yet another trust, is the world we see. So I think that it's worth keeping that kind of a thing in mind.
What I was wondering is, you know, at this point I usually quietly put on the Stacey Phillips's dobro, and you know, as you transition to another segment and thank Justin for coming on and reminding people to please go to thegreatgive.org. You could do it now. You can hang out and do it a little later. And please make a donation to the New Haven Land Trust. Would you rather serenade us going out? Is another song you'd like to play, Justin?
Sure, sure. What do you want to do? A classic?
Yeah, something you like to play.
Country road, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country road. You want me to keep going?
Sure, if you feel like it.
Yeah.
I hear her voice in the morning, how she calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. Driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Yesterday, everybody, country road. Come on, Alan. Take me home to the place
I had a terrible music
I
teacher.
belong.
Traumatized in the 7th grade.
Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country road.
And that's Justin Elicker on the guitar. But his day job, besides being a musician, is run the New Haven Land Trust. And we're so glad Justin's in New Haven. All the energy that he brings and the other people who work with the Land Trust bring, keeping 55 community gardens going and 80 acres, you said, of open space in New Haven.
Right.
Programs for kids to become entrepreneurs, work the land, go out on the water.
The Grand Acres at the corner of Grand and Perkins, looking beautiful.
TheGreatGive.org.
Walked by the other day.
Folks, please go on, make a donation to the Haven Land Trust. Justin Elicker, thank you for coming in and playing your exit music. And stay tight, sit tight, folks, because we're going to continue the Great Give Radiothon on WNHH-FM. Next up with the New Haven Jewish Federation. So hold tight, a lot of fun to come.